It is shaping up to be a crucial week for the Philadelphia Eagles, and the buzz around the team is louder than ever with the regular season entering Week 12. Fans are feeling the tension, as the Eagles' offense has struggled to find a rhythm in 2025. After coming off a Super Bowl-winning season and returning nearly all their starters, expectations were sky-high, but reality has been a different story. The offense has been inconsistent, the drives often sputtering, and points on the board harder to come by than anyone anticipated. Part of that struggle has come down to the offensive line, which is facing significant challenges as injuries mount and depth becomes an urgent issue. This week, the focus is on potential reinforcements and adjustments that could help stabilize the line and give the offense a fighting chance against the tough Cowboys defense. The Eagles have opened the practice window for rookie 6th-round pick Myles Hinton, a player who impressed during training camp and preseason, before being sidelined with an undisclosed injury. Standing 6 feet 7 inches and weighing 323 pounds, Hinton is the kind of physically gifted tackle who can make an immediate impact if activated. His size and length are prototypical for the position, and he brings NFL bloodlines, with both his father and brother having played professionally. While his technique as a pass blocker may need refinement, he is already a solid run blocker with the ability to move well in space. A rare combination for a player of his frame. His versatility is also notable, with experience at both left and right tackle, making him a potential swing option to cover for injuries along the line. Lane Johnson's absence this season looms large, not just as a blow to the offensive line but as a challenge for the entire team. Johnson, widely regarded as one of the best right tackles in NFL history, has been a cornerstone of the Eagles' success, and his presence on the field has consistently correlated with wins when he plays. The Eagles boast a winning percentage close to 66%, but without him, that drops sharply to under 40%. His impact is measurable, from his ability to protect the quarterback to his contributions in the run game, and this season has been no different. Even with the line facing challenges, Johnson's absence leaves a significant gap in experience and talent that someone like Myles Hinton could help mitigate. Fred Johnson has stepped up in the right tackle spot whenever Lane Johnson has been sidelined this season, showing the kind of resilience needed to weather a long campaign. Meanwhile, uncertainty remains about Cam Jurgens, who has battled injuries and has struggled to find consistent form following off-season back surgery. If he cannot play against Dallas, Brett Toth will be tasked with anchoring the center once again, a role he has handled in relief before, but one that brings its own challenges across the line. There are question marks that go beyond talent. Chemistry, timing, and continuity have been disrupted all season, and any opportunity to add depth or fresh legs is being closely watched by fans and analysts alike. Beyond the tackles, the interior line has its own storyline with players like Willie Lankin, a smaller but tenacious guard who brings a mean streak from his wrestling days. At 5 feet 10 inches and weighing 279 pounds, Lankin may not have the size of typical NFL linemen, but he compensates with leverage, technique, and aggressive play. His versatility across guard and center, combined with a high preseason grading, makes him a player the Eagles hope can develop into a reliable contributor. In a season where the offensive line has struggled statistically, Lankin represents one of the potential answers to stabilize the unit. The Eagles have ranked near the bottom of the league in sack rate, pressure rate, and run blocking efficiency, which directly impacts the offense's ability to execute its game plan. With 26 sacks allowed, over 100 pressures surrendered, and a yards per carry average under 4, the offensive line struggles are a significant factor in the offense's uneven performance. Looking ahead to Sunday's matchup against the Cowboys, the stakes are high. While Dallas has had a rough defensive year statistically, recent trades and acquisitions have fortified their interior defensive line, making matchups up the middle even more critical. The Eagles' ability to protect the quarterback and open lanes for the running game will be tested, and any weaknesses could be exploited by a team capable of explosive scoring. This week is not just about filling gaps due to injuries. It is about maintaining competitiveness in a division rivalry where every mistake is magnified. But the offensive line is only part of the story. The passing game has its own set of questions, particularly in terms of creativity and attacking the field. Jalen Hurts, the quarterback, has shown flashes of brilliance but has been constrained by predictability and play calling. Historically, Hurts is comfortable throwing outside the numbers, relying on hitches, go routes, and slants, but the offense has lacked variation, particularly over the middle. The team's reluctance to attack the intermediate areas of the field, the 10 to 22-yard window between the numbers, has left 1/3 of the field largely untapped. This makes the Eagles easier to defend, as defenders can crowd the short and intermediate zones while anticipating the predictable route concepts. Wide receivers like A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith are among the league's elite talents, capable of creating separation and turning short catches into explosive gains, yet the current scheme has often limited their impact. Against the Detroit Lions, for example, A.J. Brown's routes were largely confined to the sidelines, with very little variation and no crossers over the middle. Contrast that with previous seasons, where Brown was able to attack the entire field, running routes north, south, east, and west, and it becomes clear how much of his potential has gone untapped. By limiting his opportunities and not scheming to exploit his skill set, the Eagles have inadvertently made the offense easier to defend, and third down conversions and sustained drives have suffered as a result. Looking at data across the past few seasons, Hurts has consistently thrown a lower percentage of passes into the middle of the field than almost any other quarterback with a similar workload. In 2025, only 4.7% of his attempts traveled into the intermediate area between the hashes, ranking 167th out of 168 qualifying quarterbacks. This is not a one-year anomaly. The trend stretches back to 2021, suggesting a combination of personal preference and offensive philosophy at work. Analysts suggest that Hurts prefers the safer, outer throws, and while there are minor adjustments with each offensive coordinator, the diet of passes largely reflects the quarterback's comfort zone. This creates an ongoing challenge for the Eagles, who need to evolve their offensive scheme to unlock the full potential of their skilled players. Adding to the challenge is the team's reliance on high-volume hitches, which in 2025 have reached historically high levels. While these short passes serve a purpose, particularly against zone coverage, they are being deployed in ways that limit their effectiveness, often smothered by the defense before they can develop. With multiple players running the most hitches in the league, the offense has become predictable. This predictability makes it easier for defenses to neutralize plays before they even fully develop, creating a cycle of frustration for the quarterback, receivers, and coaching staff alike. Part of the hesitation to attack the middle may also stem from a philosophy of protecting the football, keeping it out of harm's way. Between the hashes, there is traffic, more defenders, and higher risk on each throw. While this approach has some merits, it comes at the cost of offensive explosiveness. Balancing safety with aggression has been a recurring theme for this Eagles team, and it is one of the key factors shaping the offense's performance week after week. The challenge for the coaching staff and quarterback is finding ways to push the boundaries without sacrificing the fundamentals that keep the ball secure, creating a delicate balance that can determine the outcome of the season. The Eagles' offensive struggles extend beyond just the line and predictable passing concepts. There is a broader question of identity, and for a team that returned nearly every starter from a Super Bowl winning roster, it is a jarring contrast to the dominance they showed last season. The lack of creativity, both in route concepts and play design, has left fans scratching their heads and analysts searching for explanations. Kevin Patullo, the offensive coordinator, faces a tough task of blending Jalen Hurts' tendencies with a system that can exploit the unique abilities of A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and the running backs, while still accounting for the vulnerabilities on the line. It is a puzzle that has not yet been solved, and the clock is ticking as the regular season marches forward. One of the most glaring issues has been the predictable route tree. By leaning heavily on hitches, go balls, and simple slants, the Eagles have made it easier for defenses to anticipate and react. Against the Lions, A.J. Brown's route chart was one-dimensional, confined largely to the sidelines with very little attack through the middle. This is in stark contrast to previous seasons, where Brown was able to stretch the field in every direction, exploiting defenders and creating mismatches that could not be ignored. By failing to provide these opportunities, the offense has not only limited its explosive potential, but has also made life more difficult for Hurts, who thrives when his receivers are able to create space and dictate coverage. Intermediate throws over the middle, the 10 to 22-yard window, remain one of the most underutilized areas in the Eagles' offensive scheme. Historical data shows that Hurts is among the least likely quarterbacks to target this zone. Among peers with similar workloads, in 2025, only 4.7% of his throws were aimed into this area, ranking him 167th out of 168 qualifying quarterbacks. This trend is consistent across multiple seasons, suggesting a combination of personal preference and systemic philosophy. Hurts naturally favors safer throws toward the outside, favoring quick completions and minimizing risk. But this approach inherently reduces the offense's versatility and unpredictability. The result is a predictable, easy-to-defend offense. Defenses can cheat toward the middle, crowd the box, and force the Eagles to execute in less favorable parts of the field. This, combined with struggles on third down, creates drives that often stall before they can build momentum. The Eagles' inability to convert in critical situations has become a recurring theme, and it directly impacts the team's ability to sustain pressure on opponents or respond when trailing. Without a willingness to attack all areas of the field, the offense is forced to play reactive rather than proactive football. The running game has faced its own set of challenges, largely due to the inconsistency on the offensive line, with Lane Johnson sidelined, Fred Johnson stepping in, and the status of Cam Jurgens uncertain. The Eagles have lacked the cohesion and push required to create consistent running lanes. Running backs, no matter how talented, cannot succeed when the line fails to win at the point of attack. This has resulted in a low yards per carry average and minimal success on early downs, further pressuring the passing game and forcing predictability. Offensive efficiency declines when the line struggles, and the Eagles' numbers reflect that reality. 26 sacks allowed, over 100 pressures surrendered, and a sub for yards per carry average highlight the impact of line instability on the overall offense. Adding to the complexity is the defense the Eagles will face this Sunday. The Cowboys, despite a historically difficult season in some metrics, have strengthened their interior defensive line, making matchups up the middle even more challenging. Quinnen Williams, Osa Odigizua, and Kenny Clark form a formidable trio, capable of collapsing the pocket and disrupting the run game. The Eagles' ability to adjust protections, execute assignments, and maintain pocket integrity will be tested from the first snap. Any breakdown could be costly, and this emphasizes the importance of every practice window, every developmental player, and every adjustment the coaching staff can make leading into the game. Beyond the X and O's, there is a philosophical element at play. The team's hesitancy to attack the middle may stem from a principle of protecting the football. Between the hashes is congested, full of traffic, and carries higher risk on each throw. Keeping the ball away from danger is a legitimate concern, especially with a quarterback like Hurts, who has shown tendencies to avoid contested throws. However, this philosophy comes at a cost. It limits the offense's explosive potential and allows defenses to overcome it to the perimeters. Knowing that the Eagles will not threaten the middle consistently in 2025, this has translated to limited success on intermediate passes, missed opportunities in high-leverage situations, and drives that often stall when creativity is needed most. FlyEaglesFly News Family Smash subscribe and hit like. Your support keeps the freshest Philadelphia Eagles updates flying in. Drop your take in the comments and let's talk birds. Philadelphia is buzzing with speculation after yet another eyebrow-raising move by Eagles general manager Howie Roseman. The NFL world is in shock, and insiders are whispering that the organization may be entering a new era of unpredictability. Roseman, known for his bold and sometimes controversial decisions, seems to have pulled off another maneuver that has left fans, analysts, and rival teams scrambling to make sense of the implications. Sources close to the team hint that this move could redefine the Eagles' strategy, both on the field and in the front office. Some are calling it a masterstroke, while others are warning it might be a high-risk gamble. Either way, one thing is certain: Howie Roseman has once again ensured that Philadelphia dominates NFL headlines. The exact details remain under wraps, but the ripple effect across the league is undeniable. Teams are reportedly reevaluating their own rosters and draft plans in response, unsure how to react to what many are describing as a game-changing shakeup. Fans have taken to social media in droves, speculating endlessly about the move's impact. Some suggest it signals a shift toward aggressive rebuilding, while others believe it could be a calculated attempt to secure the Eagles' place as perennial contenders. Analysts are divided, with heated debates across sports networks about whether Roseman's approach is visionary or reckless. One thing is clear: Philadelphia is once again at the center of NFL gossip, and Howie Roseman's reputation for unpredictability is firmly intact. Rival executives reportedly spent the past few days scrambling, trying to figure out the logic behind the decision. and insiders say the full effects might not be seen for months. In a league where stability is often prized, the Eagles are proving that chaos can be just as newsworthy, and Roseman seems to thrive in it. Whether this latest move will ultimately pay off or backfire spectacularly, fans and pundits alike can agree on one thing: the Eagles, under Howie Roseman, remain the NFL's most unpredictable team. And the rumors are only just beginning. That's a wrap from FlyEaglesFly News. If you want the fastest Eagles updates, subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Sound off in the comments. Let's talk birds.